Thank you so much. As I was introduced, my name is Kathryn Annis. I am the owner and founder of the Dawning Institute. The Dawning Institute wants to recognize both the advantages and disadvantages of what we currently have within the traditional mental health therapy system. We also recognize that there are barriers to access. And we need to start asking the questions of if this crisis is brought on by the current system, not ask why it was, but ask why not. Therefore, the solution that we need must be as innovative as the current crisis that faces our nation. My origin story is similar to few, and that is my biggest advantage. When I was 16, I was misdiagnosed with several mental illnesses that I never had at the behest of my own mother, who needed to keep control. At that time, I was actively rebelling against the abuse and neglect that I had been subjected to since infancy. As you can see here, these photos are when I was 16 and just put on medication. In 2013, I was awarded total and permanent disability by the Social Security Administration, meaning I could never have a normal life. And in fact, I proved them wrong just by being here in front of you today. In 2020, I liberated myself from all of those pharmaceuticals and went no contact with my entire family. And I moved up here to Seattle with a dream, and it saved my life. The Dawning Institute is a all-encompassing and collaborative space where trauma therapy focused practitioners of all walks of life will come in to offer their services. We believe that if practitioner A has a client that practitioner B can assist with in their healing, then that client deserves as much support as possible and to go see practitioner B. In this instance, you may have heard of the beauty salon model, where the practitioners or the hairdressers will rent their chairs for market rate of 20% net of their total profits and of their total services. And what I have done is I have reimagined this. When I bring on service providers, I do so % net rate. However, in order to get these services out to those that need it the most and can't afford it, I also give advantages to my providers. I will reduce their rent by 1.5% for every pro bono client they see in a week, and 3% or 1.5% for every sliding scale client that they see per week, and 3% for every pro bono client that they see. Meaning our services can see people that are disadvantaged and cut out of the current system due to whatever barriers, especially financial, that they come across. When I bring in service providers, I do so as their own entities. Currently, as a W-4 employer or W-4 employee, my overall tax burden off the top, with only federal, state, and federal Social Security and Medicare, is at 29.65%. By becoming an LLC and pass-through entity, it is reduced down to 15.5%. By giving my service providers these same advantages, I allow them the opportunity for financial independence, to allow them to set their own schedule and to perform as much outreach as they can within their own grasp. I had this vision 3 years ago, and I didn't understand at that time when it would come to fruition. In only of April, I took a meditative hike and I was asking how I can best serve humanity. And after that, it came to me, this model. and then my method. You see, the dawning method I devised because I have been looking for services that would help me with my trauma, with my journey. And nothing that I came across really encompassed the body, mind, and soul approach that is so needed at this point. You can go in to a counselor and you can go in and get medication, but that only treats the mind. We are neglecting the rest of who we are. The dawning method starts out with 3 empowering I am statements that has nothing to do with job titles, familial titles, or any other aspects that you can put into a box. It then goes to an activity that stimulates the thought processes, which leads then into shadow. Carl Jung has put together and said that the shadow self is the self you want to be kept hidden from everyone. You are living inauthentically. And I'm assuming it is this one. There we go. No, that one. Okay. When we live in our authentic selves, we can become our whole person and find our purpose, our value, and our spirit. So when I take that shadow work and they go through it, all of a sudden your central nervous system is spiked up to maximum, kind of how I am right now in front of you guys. And then we take and we work it out. So we get the heart pumping, whether it's by dancing or some sort of aerobics, we work it out and we bring it down. From there, we go into meditation or some other calming practice to really incorporate everything that we just went through. So when you come in, you might be at a 10, but when you leave, you feel like you can take on the world. And in fact, I've used this method in my own life. And I actually used it just this past week. There we go. Transformation is possible. Those medications ballooned me up to 350 pounds. As you can see, I am not there anymore. But I want to tell you, miracles are possible. Transformation is possible. And it is here and now, online and in Seattle. And my ask of you is that you let people know that hope is here, that passion is here, that truth is here, and that we are here for all of you. Thank you. And does anybody have any questions at this point in time? Okay.
Wonderful presentation, by the way. So from our perspective, you didn't really seem nervous at all. So I don't know if that helps at all.
Thank you.
I was really impressed that you had a really great model already and like a revenue model too. I think the salon is a beauty salon, you said, the beauty salon style?
Yeah, it's a reinvented beauty salon. Yeah.
Got it. And so I just want to make sure I understand it correctly. So it's someone that has like a license to practice. They want to set up with your shop and they get benefits if they do more pro bono work and like sliding scale work, right?
Absolutely, yes. I take off adjustments to their rent, so that way it incentivizes them to get out into the community and help more people that need it the most, especially those that we know currently right now can't afford it. As well as when every provider comes in, they have their own clientele base. But with us being fully supportive and collaborative, all of our providers, when somebody comes in now, has a wider access to more clients. So if we have clients, let's say 100, and somebody comes in with 15 additional clients on their own, the Dawning Institute now has 115 that everybody has access to.
And so my actual question again is, I suppose is, What are your biggest challenges with approaching providers, like with getting them to come on board with this? Like, what are their like no's or reasons not to, or what are your challenges there?
So the biggest challenge is that a lot of people are very used to the W-4 system, you know, being an employee and just having to clock in, clock out, and do their thing. Being a business owner, as I'm sure many, if not all of us understand, can be a little challenging, a little daunting. However, the advantages, once I go through them with them, it's highlighted. And so having somebody have an open mind, being willing to, you know, live the life on their terms and taking control is probably the best vetting process of that.
Thank you.
Hey there. So you mentioned that kind of like the benefit to providers is that sliding scale off of rent. But as we know, a lot of mental health services are going virtually these days. What are the benefits to virtual providers to joining the Dawning Institute?
So virtual providers, I currently don't have any, so that's a good question. But virtual providers are absolutely welcome. Again, I guess the biggest thing for them to be part of us is a wider clientele base. So it really helps them with cutting down any additional marketing or, you know, other expenditures such as that. That is a good question, and since I really just developed my LLC in April, it is something I will be working on. Yeah. They can be virtual. However, I believe that because you get the most benefit being in person, having that interaction, feeling each other's energy, getting to know people, feeling the space, having that entire experience, it is best to be in person. However, I do understand how life is, and I do understand that a lot of people are housebound or have other obligations. So I am not closed off to that possibility. So I will be providing supervision to where I can. So again, at this point, my doors have not yet opened. I am looking into that. There are processes and practices that I will have to implement. However, I do help run a rather large assisted living and memory care facility currently. So I do have that experience and that background to really help me understand the logistics of it.
You have a great presentation. There is a lot of statistics in there, which as a finance person, I appreciate. If you are going to do this presentation to help entice practitioners to come and join you, I would work on possibly with a graphic designer or somebody who can do informational graphics. Try to put that in your slide deck because there's a lot of numbers coming out that are great, and I get, but I think a lot of people are glazing over, and it would be great to capture what you're saying so that it's visual and people can really get it, because I think it will bring a lot of providers in.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Anybody else?
I just want to comment a little bit because there isn't certainly females, but people out there that don't love to be pampered for a little bit, and to be pampered mentally and spiritually is it's an understatement to say so needed. So very good work. I'm very proud of you for being brave and making this presentation. Looking forward to seeing what progress you make.
Thank you.
Where are you at in the process of bringing on practitioners, connecting with folks who might not currently have their own mental health practice, but working in that space and want to connect?
So right now I have 3 practitioners that have already submitted signed letters of intent. One is a nutritionist, one is a biofeedback and Qigong specialist, and another is it's hypnotherapist. What I'm looking for are counselors and financial planners and physical fitness instructors, and it can go on and on. As I said, this is all inclusive, body, mind, and soul. So I am looking for those who really have the dedication to go out there and make a difference. And financial education especially is so needed and so important, because I'll tell you what, I loved learning line dancing in school, but when it came to taxes, I can't tap dance around that, you know, so.
How do we best connect with you?
So that would be my website. There we go. I think it's this one. No, there we go. There we go. So, oh, it's got cut off. So info@dawninginstitute.com. Absolutely. That QR code goes to my website directly.
Thank you.